Hello, my sweet friends. It's Psychic Medium Samantha Faye here with you today. Happy Transformational Tuesday. We made it to yet another one. I went ahead and grabbed my Ascended Masters deck. We just had our full moon in Scorpio. And remember that if you are watching this on the replay, this message is perfectly timed for you. If you are watching this 6 months from now over on my YouTube channel, that is perfectly fine too. This message is meant for you. The way that I have this energy set up for these is that your guides, your guardians, your inner being will lead you directly to this at a moment that is perfectly aligned for you. Hello, Miss Audrey, Chewy, what's up? Joe, Robin, Miss Kayla, hello, Kat. Hello. I see a bunch more numbers here than I see names. For some reason, Facebook isn't showing me who's here. So, hi, Amy. Hello, Miss Luana. Hello. Oh, so yesterday, I got hit with a ton of emotions. Lots of emotions. It was quite exhilarating. It was kind of one of those days. And it was funny because I was thinking to myself, like, oh, wow, it's a full moon. I've been a little bit disconnected from the moon cycles lately. And then I was like, it didn't even feel like a new moon or full moon. Then all of a sudden yesterday, I was like, boom. Oh, my goodness. Hit me like a ton of bricks. Did a lot of inner child wounding, healing, a lot of resurfacing of old memories. I even brought my angels and my guides with me, sat in meditation, and literally I brought myself to a safe spot. I don't know why I'm sharing this. Maybe I'm sure someone needs to hear it. But I brought myself into my safe haven, my safe zone, because I was like literally at the point where I was just throwing my arms up in the air. Like, I don't know what else to do here. Hi, Danny. Welcome. So I go into my safe haven in meditation. It's a space that I've created for myself where I go to contemplate and relax and rest and integrate. Sometimes I have conversations with different aspects of myself to bring in that path of integration. So I'm having this like really intense emotional reaction just to the day. And I brought all of my baggage, all of my shit, all of my unpacked stuff, all of it, literally all of it. It was like I was moving. I brought all of it and I looked at my guides, my angels, and I basically just said, will you help me unpack this, please? It's feeling so heavy. I'm feeling so weighted down. I want all of this to be integrated, to be taken care of, to be acknowledged. We focus so much on this path of personal growth of like, let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Well, what happens if it does serve you and it just sucks to look at it? It's painful, and so you don't want to look at it. But the thing is that sometimes we have to look at these things to be able to integrate, release, to understand, because circumstances happen in our life, and until you become conscious to it, there's a lot of really golden nuggets and treasure troves in these memories that we have otherwise just skipped over. And so when you go back into those and you go back and you look at and you explore and you allow yourself to go down memory lane and you allow your heart to open up and you allow these memories to come through, and you with a new blossom state of emotional awareness, a new blossom state of emotional capacity, are able to go into and see these things. You're able to see them with a different perspective. You're able to actually acknowledge them from the space of maturity and wisdom that you're in now, to be able to integrate all of the stuff that came through and happened. So I don't know if that was happening for you during this full moon. I don't know if that's happening for you now, but I guess I'm just sharing a little bit about what my process is, because being a transformational coach and being somebody who is a growth mentor, I've learned to be in a constant state of growth, constant state of discomfort and expansion. Of course, there's all sorts of joy sprinkled into there, and fun and abundance and all wonderful things. And the expansion of maturity and the expansion of growth, it doesn't end, it doesn't stop. And so as I continue to turn the heat up for myself, and as I continue to enroll clients who are ready to turn the heat up for themselves, it all starts coming through and it all starts coming up and it all speeds up a little bit more quickly. So It's really exciting times that we're living in, with people waking up in all corners of the world, light workers remembering who they are, angels, people who recognize or have memories of being from different places, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and being able to really remember. That's what we call it, accessing the soul's memories. That's why it's important to access those soul memories, because it isn't just about this lifetime. It isn't just about this egoic consciousness that is Samantha, right? It's about the lifetimes that I have experienced in between, and even the memories that my soul has in between incarnations. That's where there's so much goodness. There's so many lessons and so much wisdom in that to bring to our conscious mind to then integrate into this world that we're experiencing together. It's so extraordinary. All right, so that being said, I brought the Ascended Masters with me today. I wanted to bring this deck so that we could call on support. Where did I put the box? So that we could call on support. And when I was very first learning about all of this, I got some of these decks, the Ascended Masters Goddess deck, some of these card decks that have beings that we can call on, right? These are people who have incarnated on the planet, that have had bodies that no longer live in bodies, and so we can call on them. We have there's so many. If you're not familiar with this deck, we have Ganesh, Melchizedek, some I can't pronounce, they're just beyond my comprehension of language. We've got Buddha, Merlin, El Morya. We have White Buffalo Calf Woman, Mother Mary, Osiris, Isis, Saint Germain, Angus, beautiful, love this. We have Horus, Paul the Venetian. So there's a lot of these that we can call in. And the reason that I'm bringing this deck in today is because I started using these decks to learn who I could call on for help. When I am expanding, when my abilities were really starting to light up, when my mediumship was really starting to open up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could, like, this is bizarre, right? I've always known that I was a medium, but I turned it off for a really long time, and then through drinking and partying a lot, I wasn't able to clearly connect. So then when I stopped all of that and gave myself permission to connect, I started hearing all sorts of wonderful messages, and I wanted to know who they were from. So I started to use these decks as a way to figure out who I could call on and who I could talk to. So I'm bringing those lessons to you today, that if your mediumship abilities are really starting to open up, or you're wanting to explore them, I highly, highly suggest starting with something that you know is safe, instead of going, like, sitting in your room and being like, who wants to chat? I've done that too, and it can be very unpleasant, and especially if you don't really know what you're doing. That's why it's really important to be trained as a medium, so that you know what you're doing. It's kind of like wandering around blind through a room trying to figure out where the furniture is, and then getting mad for stubbing your toe and you get like a weird entity attachment. Anyway, that's what happens sometimes. All right. I try not to get too weird into the rabbit hole when I'm on these Facebook Lives, but sometimes it happens. All right, let's go ahead and state the prayer, and I'm going to be pulling out cards. We had one that already came out. So as we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. All right, beautiful. Had 4 that came out, so we're just going to go with it. All right, my sweet loves, let's go ahead and see. We have Ganesh. Love this one. What are you working on? What are you thinking about? What are you questioning? It's always fun. What are you questioning? What are you consciously choosing to split your energy on? That's what confusion is. Choosing to split your energy one way and another. Ganesh, this card is showing up to say, whatever it is, wherever your heart is, whatever your heart is in, don't question it. Don't question it for 2 seconds. If it is a heart-centered passion project, if it is something that you know is aligned with your soul's consciousness, your heart space, it is 100% fully aligned with your purpose. Now, here's the thing. is that sometimes we have these big ideas, these big fat giant dreams of this is what we want to do, this is how we want it to look, and it doesn't look like that right away. There's certain things that your inner being is going to set up for you that's going to give you the path that leads you into the lifestyle and the dream space that you want to be in. Sometimes certain things happen that aren't as comfortable to experience, yet they are priming you, they're strength training you, they're priming you to be able to handle what is coming for you, to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, right? Now, some of you have been following me for a while know that one of my challenges was some relationships that I had in childhood. And so some of those relationships I now know were strength training me. They were strength training me to endure the amount of pain during childhood. And I know that for you, if you're watching this and you have a painful childhood experience or several, I know that we usually all do because our emotional capacity as a child is not evolved. And so, yes, of course, we all have trauma in our childhood. And for some of us, the trauma is that we were too sheltered and never experienced pain, right? Everybody has a something. So when you're looking at that, the reason I'm bringing that up, especially with this card, is that if you're holding on to any of that, if you're holding on to any grudges or inability to forgive or inability to understand why or access the connection as to the purpose of that meaning, the purpose of that divine connection, I'm a true believer that nothing, especially in our childhood, happens by accident. That we as a conscious energetic being chose the exact circumstance that we came into this world to be, to learn through. And so those experiences made you stronger, they made you more capable, they made you more able. And the only thing that's holding you back with any of those experiences is blaming, choosing the role of the victim, and not being able to give it up through forgiveness and compassion. And there's no shame involved in that. It's just simply a recognizing of what is. So the more quickly you can allow yourself to let go of that hard shell, the more you can give yourself permission to breathe easy into the newness, the new shift that you are stepping into. This is what this is about. Yes, give yourself permission to fully commit to your heart projects. Project or projects, whatever it is for you. Give yourself full permission to fully connect and fully commit to your heart projects. This is a beautiful, beautiful time and beautiful confirmation. It's beautiful validation that you are on the right path. You are absolutely on the right path. Whatever that stirring is inside of your heart, keep following it. Keep following it with conviction. And if you need help, Ganesh is here as the remover of obstacles. Ganesh to me is also very closely tied into these tattoos I have on my finger. So I really do resonate with this card a lot. I love to see it when it comes up. And who doesn't love the word yes? We all love yes, right? It's a wonderful thing. All right, what do we have here? Ooh, El Moria. Love this guy. All right, clear and shield your energy. This right here is getting influenced. Whatever it is that you're calling in, whatever it is that you're working on, is being influenced by people around you. So clear and shield your energy. Be really conscious, be really present about how you're holding your energy, who you're spending your time with, what you're sharing who you're sharing your experiences with. I know for myself, when I make big, giant decisions that I am 100% going to put all of my energy into. Now, I can be very stubborn, something that runs in the women in my family. That stubbornness, one, is going to create an outer shell. That can be used to clear and shield energy. It can also be used to keep well-meaning people out. So be clear with yourself about clearing and shielding your energy for the right kind of energy. Now you can set a filter on your energetic space. El Moria is really good. Now for those of you who are mediums that are watching, connect in with El Moria. And even if you're not a medium, it doesn't matter. Connect in with El Moria. For those of you that are mediums, you'll be able to understand and see what's happening. For those of you that are just tuning into your ability, you might be able to see color. You might be able to feel that there is a different presence around the room there with you. El Moria is really, really supportive and really super helpful in instantly clearing your energy field. Now, this is what happens. You have a beautiful, wonderful idea that's solely connected to your heart, and you know that that is fully connected to your inner being, that divine center of self. And so when you have that connection and you have that and you know it, and it is a baby, it is an idea, it's something that you want to do, and then you tell somebody about it and they're like, well, that's a shitty idea. And the reason this person over here is saying that that's a shitty idea is because they don't have the cojones to follow their heart. They don't have the cojones. They don't know what they're doing. They're confused in their life, and they want you to be too. And it's not that they want you to be too out of malicious intent. It's because they're confused and they don't get it. This is why it's important for you to protect the things that you are creating until, absolutely until, you hold steady with such resolve inside of yourself, and you're holding steady with such resolve that nothing can waver, only add positive momentum to what it is that you are creating. Then and only then do you start sharing that idea and that purpose with others. But it's so important for you to nurture your heart projects with your confidence, with your ability to create, and knowing that you are divinely supported and guided. This is why it is also super important to surround yourself with people who are on the same wavelength as you. So if you are creating massive momentum, if you're creating a passion project, if you want to help people, if you're putting things out there into the world that you absolutely have full conviction inside of your heart, it is your birthright to fulfill this. And so when you step into the path of your birthright, meaning this is directly connected to your purpose, this is the center of your heart connection, you will fulfill this. You absolutely will fulfill this. Now, part of free will that we have on this planet is that you get to choose how that happens by choosing who you spend your time around, who you let into your energy space, who you let into your field, and who you have conversations with about what, right? That's all designed by your own free will. No, I'm not saying go full paranoid, okay? That's not what I'm saying here at all. I'm just saying be delicate in nurturing, right? You wouldn't have a newborn baby and bring it to a heavy metal concert. Be smart about what you're nurturing and where you're taking it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now these two cards came out together, so we're going to connect in with them. Ooh, yay. We have Parvati, and then we have Merlin. Energy healing and positive change. Love this, love this, love this. So this is what this is showing me. I'm just going to start channeling here and get my head out of the way. So what you have coming through into your world and into your life is that there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity that's going to show up. It's going to be a little bit different than you think it should look. But the fact of the matter is that this is coming through in positive change, meaning this is going to bring around the exact enthusiasm, the exact excitement, the exact potential, prosperity, the hopes, dreams, the visions, the things that you have been putting in to your little time capsule of creation. What it is that you are working for is creating massive, massive, massive positive change in your world. Now, here's the thing, is that you're going to have to let go of some of the things that are in your world and in your life right now. When that happens and when they show up, approach them with generous compassion. Generous compassion and generous forgiveness, recognizing and knowing. Now, for those of you that were here in the beginning of this, I shared a little bit about what yesterday was like for me in going through this baggage that I've been storing and holding. Now, I also recognize that it was similar to the experience of your life flashing before your eyes that they say in the moment of death. Now, for me, it wasn't that dramatic, of course, but what I am connecting in with and what I was able to see is that there's massive change. There's huge movement and huge momentum happening in my world and in my life. And as that happens, what I'm recognizing is that there is a death of self that is happening. And it's a death of self. It is A death of self, and the way that I see it is it's releasing of an aspect into a time period that aspect of myself is meant to be living in. So it's to say, and we can get into parallel realities a little bit, why not? That if time as we experience it in this third dimensional linear form is what keeps everything from happening all at once. All right? So as we see that time as we experience in this linear form, third dimensional linear form, is happening in that way. Now, there are some theories out there, some of them that I subscribe to, that also state that that time doesn't exist. That time doesn't exist only, here's the caveat, that time doesn't exist only in this long drawn out linear form. So here's the deal, is that your future self already has accomplished the things that you're working towards accomplishing. That's exactly why I have this tattoo on my hand. For those of you that don't know, this tattoo came through a vision that I had with my future self, where she showed me exactly where I was going to be going, what I was going to be doing. And this tattoo I got to remind me that every single choice that I make has a direct and immediate impact on my future. I wanted it to be on the palm of my hand so that I would always see it. Now, why I'm bringing this up for you is that this positive change that you're calling in has already happened. The things that you want to accomplish and the things that you want to achieve, you have already achieved. You've already accomplished them. So what we do is we then reverse engineer the process of understanding what you feel like in having made that accomplishment, in having that achievement. And then what you can do using your own ability of free will is to open up your solar plexus and open up your divine alignment to source energy and offer yourself the gift of more, because you've already been able to accomplish that. So this is how you speed up and amplify the gifts of the rewards that you in your birthright are already capable of owning for yourself. There is so much beauty and there's so much grace in this when you give yourself the permission to do this. Now, my belief is that the reason why a lot of people don't want to do this is because sometimes it can be challenging. It doesn't have to be. It can be so simple. It can be so easy. It can be as literally as simple as playing hopscotch. It can be that simple. And it does take courage. I will say that. It does take courage. So the courage, that piece right here, this is the energy healing. Merlin is here to help release and sort through the baggage that you're carrying around with you that is holding you back and keeping you from being able to jump into that feeling of accomplishment right now. You can have that feeling of accomplishment. It literally is the difference between choosing to stand in one box and choosing to stand in the other box. Here you are with the baggage and emotions and all that stuff, and it's okay to be in that box. There's no shame to be in that box. Sometimes you can give yourself full permission, have your personal pity party, give yourself the grace to feel, because here's the thing about contrast, is that the contrast of pain makes joy and beauty and bliss so much sweeter and so much better. So it's not to say that we're living in this world free of contrast. That's not the point. The point is to experience contrast. The point is to experience contrast so that we know how to create with ease, and that we know how to create with grace, and that we know how to create in a place without struggle. That when a circumstance happens, let's say a loved one passes away, that we can accept what is. Because the acceptance of what is recognizing that that person who just passed is now in the space of infinity. You have access to that person. They don't have a physical body anymore, but they didn't go away. That's the thing that a lot of people as a medium, when people have lost loved ones and they come to me, our loved ones don't disappear. They don't go into the ethers and never come back. They're around. They're around. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to understand and know how to connect with them, because guess what? They then have access to the infinite intelligence without this egoic mind getting in the way, and they can then share with you the information that they have access to. Ah, beautiful. So that in and of itself, death can be seamless. Death can be easy. Death can be beautiful. As I was mentioning yesterday, I felt like I was going through a death of an aspect of self. Still feels like there's a grieving process. Still feels like all these things. It's not comfortable, but it creates contrast. And it also, for me, creates validation that the work that I'm doing is working. that the things are falling away because they're meant to be falling away. So that's when you call on Merlin to help with the energy healing, because that's what he's there for. El Moria, he's going to come through and he's going to help clear and shield your energy so that you're very aware of that you have something worth protecting. You absolutely have something worth protecting. We have Ganesh showing up to tell you that what you're doing and the path that you're on is working. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's not over. It's not over. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the positive change, that's really what we're looking at. That's really what we're calling in. That's the reward here. So I hope I really went much longer than I had anticipated or expected. But I felt like there was so much information in these cards, so much information that I really do help support you on what it is that you're doing. We are not alone on this. Like I said, light workers, that word used to trigger the shit out of me. I did not like the word light worker. I was like, what does that even mean? Now I get it. Now I get it. A light worker, I'll just define that for all of us in my own terms. A light worker is a being that volunteered to come down to this planet, recognizing that the vibrational frequency of Earth needed some help to realign. So as there are many beings who feel that they are not supposed to be here on this planet, that there are many humans that are like, what am I doing here? I feel confused and then I feel lost. And then the human side is like, that makes no sense. Well, I'm here to tell you that it makes a lot of sense from the energy standpoint. There are a lot of people that are like, I want out of this body. I don't know why I'm here. I'm confused. I don't get it. And yet there's this thing inside of your heart that is just like unwavering, wanting to move forward and wanting to help, right? So that piece of you that's there, encourage that. Encourage that. Because once you give yourself permission to become conscious and you take baby steps into consciousness, I'm still taking baby steps into absorbing and receiving and being able to experience more on the level that I am at as well. And what I will say is that the more you give yourself permission to open up, the more exciting it gets on so many levels. My personal mission is to make sure that us light workers are not alone. It does not feel good to be awake and conscious and alone, to be able to speak about the things that you see from an energetic perspective and to think that you're going crazy. You're not going crazy. You're not going crazy. The things that you feel, the things that you see when you close your eyes are just as much real as this table that's in front of me and the iPhone or iPad, whatever it is that you're watching this on, that you're holding in front of you. It very much is. And as I teach people how to develop their psychic abilities, it's not so much teaching you how to do something you don't know. It's more or less teaching you how to connect with and understand the things that you're already doing that you don't know are psychic abilities. So, my sweet and loving friends, with that being said, of course, I would love nothing more than for you to join me on a mission of diving deeper each and every single week. These Transformational Tuesdays are just barely scratching the surface of the work that we're doing together in the Earth Angels Academy. So yes, enrollment for founding member is still open until May 30th. So please, 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 please make sure to schedule your interview before then. There is an absolute cutoff. There's an absolute deadline for that, where we will not be allowing the founding member perks and bonuses. So I want to make sure that this is your opportunity to take full advantage. Now, I want to be clear that with the founding member in the Earth Angels Academy, I am just barely at the beginning of starting something that I know is huge, because I can feel it, and it's because it's my birthright, and it's because it's why I'm here. I'm very clear with all of that. And the Earth Angels Academy is a physical manifestation of my dreams coming to reality. So this is just the beginning. And I can tell you that the lifetime membership access with the founding member opportunity is something that you do absolutely want to take advantage of now. Absolutely take advantage of that now. And that founding member, it becomes our internal little family, the people who are there from the beginning. I think there's just something that is so treasured in this world about being a part of something new, being a part of something from that early phase. And that's why I really wanted to reward and bless and bonus everybody who's coming in at that phase, because we're about to really start expanding. All right, so yes, SamanthaFaye.com/grow. Miss Kayla Joy posted that in the comments here. Just go to SamanthaFaye.com/grow. There's an intro video there that's going to speak to you if you align with Discover. It's a filter that will basically let you know if it's for you or let you know that it's not for you. That's exactly what the intention of it is. So if you're curious, there's absolutely no harm, no foul. Go to SamanthaFaye.com/grow. I'm not even asking for your email address. I'm not even asking for anything. I just want you to see the video. So see that video. Tune into it. If you feel in your heart space that you are leaning forward and that this is for you, connect in with yourself. You're welcome to fully commit. If you energetically commit, what I have seen and what I have noticed is that the universe and your inner being starts to conspire for you to be able to make that happen. We then have an application and an interview for you as well. Yes, we do want to chat with everybody before we bring them in. There is a screening, like Elmoria says, I am protective of our family, our network, and who we're bringing in. So yes, my sweet loves, don't let any of that intimidate you. Go to SamanthaFaye.com/grow, watch that intro video, and see if it is for you. And otherwise, if you're just popping on, hi Katrina, hello Miss Anna, so good to see you. If you're just popping on, go back and watch this from the beginning. It was a very, very rich session. I can't believe I'm still on, but very rich session with a lot of really beautiful information and encouragement. So with that being said, I love you, love you, love you. And as we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much complete. All right, my sweet friends. I'll see you very soon. Ciao, ciao.